Hello, friends. My name is Maximus, and I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the 48th episode of Caches and Cantrips, where some of your favorite streamers play Dungeons and Dragons live on Friday nights. I'm joined by our amazing cast of Honey Dreadful, Mac and Cheese Please, Virtual Spectre, and Moobs Like Jagger from the GGN crew. And so excited for you all to play tonight. I'm so excited for you all to watch tonight. I hope you are excited for the things to come. Lots of big things are happening that the crew may or may not know about. But some good news is that we have officially reached over 1,200 plays on our podcast. So that's exciting. And thank you all for listening.
Wow,
thank you.
I'm glad that you like what we got going on. And
I hope that you're
also,
buff now.
Yeah, you better be buff.
Yeah.
If you're not buff, it's because you've been sitting on the couch watching them on YouTube.
No.
Instead.
If they're not buff, it's because they're swole. You know.
Oh,
or it's because we've been telling them to eat donuts.
That's
True.
That's very true.
It's very counterproductive.
That's
You don't eat donuts between reps.
I wish that would be a great
donut
That's
curls?
the mac and cheese secret.
Am I doing it wrong?
Food curls.
I just wanted to say that real quick. If you missed the episode of D20 Deathmatch that Mac and I were in, you can still watch it. It's now on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
D20 Deathmatch. Go check it out because it was
amazing,
freaking hilarious.
It was so
big.
much fun.
I watched the mod.
Actually.
It was really good.
Also, not
Spoilers,
safe
Bryn.
for work, so do not watch it with your children, please.
Oh,
and
not
then
safe for work. No.
Don't come for after us.
Wait, is this show safe for work? I don't think this
No,
show's safe for work.
it's not
either.
safe
if you
for
have
work.
headphones on, yes. If
Yeah.
you
True.
don't have
It's true.
headphones on and your boss walks by, you might hear some naughty words.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
This is headphones. Even if you're listening to podcasts anyway, please use headphones. Don't be that person that just listens to things with other people around.
Yeah, we know you're trying to get swole at the gym, but headphones. Don't be lifting and like, what was that? I missed it. Like nobody wants to
keep us
hear
off
it.
your Bluetooth speaker. Put the headphones in.
Yeah.
Or don't. Then people are like, oh, what are you listening to? And then they're like, oh, it's this awesome D&D show.
Yeah, spread the word.
Yeah, but if you're a
Listen to
real friend,
Moobs.
you send them the first episode and you say, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Listen to Moobs. Don't listen to me. He knows how to do this better than I do. Thanks for writing me in, buddy.
I question my decisions in life every day.
Hey, me too.
Same. Yeah.
Are you guys the same?
Is that what being adult
Are we
is?
all?
Am I
Are we?
Moobs?
I guess.
Are we
each other?
Yeah.
Are we all Vins again? Shit.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
man.
Oh man, that map is wrong. Oh well, thanks bot. Don't worry about that. It's a good place to go. Anyway, with that being said, also you can just go to castesandcantrips.com for all of your casters and cantrips needs. You should go do that. You should take a look at it. We got awesome things like merch. We got links to all of our socials out there. We have little individual bios for all the players. If you haven't seen that, you can go do that. You can catch up on all the previous episodes.
Make those? Oh,
I did. I made them.
Aw.
thanks.
Thanks, Max.
Aw.
Yeah.
Sorry we don't read your DMs if you told us to do it.
No, I just stole whatever you all put for your Twitter and like your own stuff and just reformatted it and put it on there.
Oh, I thought you made player bios like Vin. She likes long walks on the beach or like.
No, I did not do that. But if I did, I would steal it from your character sheet
Yeah.
and reformat it. Anyway, with that being said, also links to socials, links to Patreon, where you can get access to our VODs and or the podcast early. So if you don't catch the Friday episodes, but you just have to have it and you can't wait till Tuesday because it's too long, then there you go. And you can even help me make an NPC if you so choose at one of the tiers. So that's super fun. But with that being said, last thing is that all of our alerts and bells and whistles are muted for the stream. We see them in chat, we see them in our hearts, and we thank you so much for supporting us. But we like to keep the game fully immersive. It's one of those type of games. But with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and get ready for tonight's episode of Caches and Cantrips. All right, and welcome back, everyone. Our story last left off with me finding better music for this. Our story last left off with Sweet Justice on the Goldraker escaping the port of Last Chance after spending a few days at sea with Captain Dalius and his crew. They arrived in Icegarth. Captain Dalius gave the party some coin to pay off his remaining debts in the city. After securing some food and some donuts for the road, the group made their way to the Merchants Guild to speak with Leela Pilwick. They successfully paid off Dalius' debt, including some interest out of pocket. Then they made their way to the Great Library to check in with Risa. After catching up with their friend, Bryn and the rest of the group made their way to the Arcanist. I can say words sometimes. The Arcanist assemblage. After being bribed with a donut, Milben told the group that the assemblage holds tomes and scrolls needed to learn magic. Bryn decided to take an entrance test to the Arcanist assemblage to reach the preliminary rank of Initiate, so she could gain access to the knowledge required to hone her craft as a wizard. Ron spent his time in the city by making a name for himself, or for Bron's self, as a formidable fighter in an underground fighting league. He also was successful in training Mimi on how to turn into a small jewelry box. Valken, on the other hand, did some local mercenary work on the side to pass the time. The party was ultimately paid for their services rendered in Last Chance, and after a few weeks in the city, Sweet Justice made their way back to Tustin to check in with the Order of Iberis. When they arrived at the guild hall, they learned that the fees to operate in Tustin had been raised considerably. Lord Kelvin Thornsby has been interim lord over the town, while Lord Cook is set to stand trial. Valken also received a letter from his friend Emma Drake, and she formally asked Valken to represent the Shoya Lake Academy in the upcoming martial arts tournament. Quentin Hannibal also informed the party of several contracts that had come in, one of which was worth 5,000 gold pieces to be an additional security.
It's vacation.
To be additional security at a high-risk card game at Sapphire Paradise. A little later, a small group of town guards entered into the guild hall, and the newly appointed captain of the Tustin Guard, Brannis, came forward and informed the group that their presence was required at the trial of Lord Crawford Cook. The order came straight from the crown itself, and the trial would be held in Falshir, the capital. The party decided to go ahead and head that direction immediately to gather information before the trial. However, they made a quick stop at the Shoya Lake Academy on the way. And that is where we begin our session this evening. So, if I remember...
I have a theory. Oh, sorry. Mysterious voice in the sky. Please continue.
What?
Oh, I have a theory. What if Brannis is the Baron?
No.
Look, he
Great.
always shows up when we
Please.
least want to see him. Like he's keeping tabs on us. He's very full of himself. I hate him.
As much as I would like
Idol.
Brannis to disappear, I don't think he's the
Well, we
Baron.
could kill him just to be safe. I'm just saying.
If Brannis was Baron, then would he not take you and Vin, since you both have magic powers?
Oh, he already met Vin and decided he didn't want her because her magic was no good for him or something.
Could
Wow,
she take...
okay, you just have to say it like that.
Well, I like her magic. I'm just saying he did not. That's because he is a very poor judge of character.
What?
Very
It
good
is,
judge of character.
Because you pick Spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, so you picked mask.
Oh.
Right? Mask?
I picked the mask.
I think he wanted you to pick the little tuning fork thing.
Listen, I thought it was gonna be useful. Like I could use it for something. I didn't know it was just stupid mask. I don't want stupid fork, stupid spoon.
I have a theory about that. Because mage person, friend of the Baron, used tuning fork symbol.
Hmm.
So he's looking for
Oh, maybe
reincarnated friend.
it. If maybe a fork is magical, and Baron was hoping for you to sense magic presence, but you did not sense. So Baron
But
said no.
I think it's only because your magic is of Fae, no? We've figured as much out?
Maybe he's just looking for the perfect eating utensil.
Sounds like kind of fork,
My magic
Volcan.
is perfect. Okay, guys, God.
No, Vin, it is good. He did not choose you because you are with us now. We are family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he had you, it would be like evil Vin. You'd be like probably
No, do
wearing all
not.
black and like have black hair and look all awesome and stuff.
Ooh, like this, and then I have black hair. Does it look good?
Whoa. That's kind
Wow.
of striking, yes.
It is good, yeah.
Ooh, now try pink.
And I like tap my hair, and I have pink now. Like this?
Ooh, I like this much better, yes.
Okay. And I'll leave it pink for a little bit.
Yay!
But it's still been season 2 with like shaved side, looking very sleek. So, what do we do now then? Like, how do we investigate your hunch, or are you just?
Oh, you were busy doing crime or something. We've discovered we need to hot-foot it to the trial, and in order to make it in time, and also stop by Monk's academy.
Okay.
Do you call your place Valkian?
Oh, King Oscar is now Emperor Oscar.
Oh
When
yeah.
he got promotion.
School academy. Same
We
thing.
need to book it so that he can join in the.
Oh, don't we have job for bodyguard duty? It pays
It's-
5,000 gold.
That's for later. We can't
Oh.
wait for that.
I mean, it would pay for a tattoo.
But we don't even know when that is. He's gonna let us know. So we need to go now. We need to leave now. Actually, everyone get horses. We got to go.
Couple things. You already left, so you were coming up to the academy now.
I mean, we're already going.
For Vin, since you indicated what you'd wanted to do, you spent your 3 weeks of downtime learning or attempting to learn thieves' tools.
Yeah, I want to pick
So
locks.
it's based on your intelligence, how quickly you can learn something.
Okay.
So write down that you have 3 weeks of training. To learn the tool, you'll need a total of 10. Unless
10
somehow
weeks?
you increase your intelligence between now and then.
Shit. Okay.
But you're on your way. Yeah, a couple more downtimes, then you'll be able to do it.
Okay. So I'm a 3 out of 10 right now.
Mm-hmm.
3 out. I'm gonna make a note.
Second thing that you all were talking about is the tuning fork. You all recognize that was the necklace of one of you that was playing. I believe Vin was playing the spellcaster in the play when they changed your appearance, and that was around her neck. So, okay. So, you make your way over to the Shoya Lake Academy. And as you are walking through sort of the forest, and it sort of opens up into the lake of which the academy is built with the several bridges into different areas that lead to the main area. You can see that there are just about a dozen or so students sort of out in the front grounds that are practicing some of their movements and techniques. And you can see Emma is currently teaching them all.
I'll just shout over like, "Yo, hello."
as you shout. A couple of the young students look over and then just totally forget what they were doing and kind of break out of like formation, and you can see Emma kind of scolding one of them and looking over, and she just sort of just tells class to break, and she starts walking down one of the bridges towards the entrance there. It's good to see you all. I saw that you got my letter, Falcon.
Yeah. Finally got to me, I think. Just kind of surprised, but here we are.
And she sort of just just a quick embrace for all of you as sort of old friends, if you're friends of Falcon's and you're a friend of hers, as you stayed. And so she kind of gives you all just a warm embrace and says, well, I'm sure that you are probably weary from riding from wherever you came from. Be more than happy to serve lunch. We had just we're about to do that after our drills, so please follow me. And she sort of leads you all, and she's wearing sort of the similar garb that kind of Falcon has, the gi with the similar dark blues and greens, as well as all the younger students. And it's kind of similar to what happened last time, where all of the students are in their places doing the specific things that they need to do to kind of get food service and things ready. And as she approaches, she says, yes, we will be having 4 additional guests this evening, so make sure to prepare accordingly. And she walks to the front and removes her shoes, puts them in their place in sort of the little shoe rack, and then just beckons you all inside.
Ron removes his boots.
We should all do that.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
I believe she got onto one of y'all for not last time.
Oh, really? Well, we do same.
So, it's so good to see you all. Have you made a decision, Falcon? Sorry, I didn't mean to, get right to business, but I do have to write our response in the coming days. So.
I mean, you know me, normally I don't really care about that kind of stuff, but if there's nobody else, I'll do it.
And she just kind of just looks relieved, like it's something that's been kind of like on her to like make a decision, and she'd been waiting, and she's like, that's gonna be so wonderful. It's so wonderful to hear. The students are gonna be most excited. I mean, as you can see, and she sort of points, 2/3 of them are under the age of 14, so they really can't compete.
Yeah, it's not really a thing for kids. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? I have no idea what to expect, and it's been a long time since I fought in any kind of tournament, so.
It's well, from what I understand in how they were structuring this tournament, there will be a few events, of course, hand-to-hand combat. There will be use of weapons. There will be a category for movements and form. And there will also be one for feats of strength and technique. So whichever that you think that you would be most appropriate to do, by all means. We are definitely short on those that can compete in any of the direct sort of events, the hand-to-hand or weapon combat.
Question.
Yes.
Could we sign up on behalf of school?
Well, I don't necessarily know if there's any particular rules against it.
I mean, if you'd rather we not, I wasn't trying. I just thought maybe we could help.
Disrespectful? I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to help. If it's not helpful, and never mind.
Well, we would have to, of course, enroll you as students, but then would come as sort of a problem, as we would have to prove your membership, and then you would be placed based on how long you've been training and what sort of level that you would have achieved.
Never mind.
Feels
Too
like
complicated.
A lot of paperwork.
Yeah, maybe next time. Maybe next
Well,
time.
it's all there to ensure safety and those sort of things.
Oh, safety.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Weird.
Of course, thank you very much for the kind gesture. I'm very welcome for any help that we get at this point. Our suspicions were correct, of course, that the tournament will be held in Emberholm, which is the home city of, the Temple of the Crystal Rose. We also know... I'm sorry, what?
I'm just looking at the map real quick to see where that's at.
Yeah, that's sort of a problem to get there.
Well, despite the current hostilities, fortunately, the particular academies all remain neutral in these regards. So as long as we are traveling on official business of the academy and provide the necessary paperwork, as then put it, that we'll be allowed entry, as these sort of things are outside of the purview of the individual governments and their squabbles.
But does that mean all of us could go with paperwork?
I mean, of course, while you may not necessarily be able to enter in any specific events, we'll welcome the help.
Yeah, we could help with like setup and breaking down. I'm very good at that sort of thing. Sort of, we are Valkians, how you say, road warriors.
Do road warriors get paid?
No, they do it because they love the music. I mean, the fighting. They get paid in snacks from Green Room.
Well, I don't want you all to, work without any compensation. I do believe that there are winnings for the top academy, so I don't know if it's been confirmed yet for entry fees and the total winnings, but I would be more than happy to share. What are your rates?
Oh, no, I mean, Valkian, this is important to you? To show honor for your school?
Yeah, honor.
If it's important to Valkian, it is important to us.
I'll take their money, it's fine.
Oh, she won't. Just meals, if you could help with meals. This is all we require.
Luckily, the hosting city covers for those sort of things, so...
Free food?
Yes. And
would have led with that. Oh!
So
yeah, you should have led with that.
I apologize. I've had a lot on my mind recently. It's been difficult. It's been just me. Unfortunately, Folis did not return, so it's been quite a burden on me to keep the school running.
I didn't realize he was that mad, but okay.
Sure.
Do you need any... I mean, we've been making a fair bit of money doing the whole adventuring thing. I'd be happy to help in that way if possible.
I do appreciate. I'm hoping that we can earn it from the tournament, especially with you competing, Falcon. That will definitely help. It's more just
I'd put
you
money
can't
on
be
me.
everywhere at once. It's a lot of students to teach, but we'll manage. Once some of the older students kind of come into their own, they can help, of course, if they decide to stay. I know we've gotten right to business. I hope you all are hungry. We have some stew or some soup from our vegetable garden that we have been cultivating. So most of our food now is relatively self-sustaining. So we have
I like
plenty of
that.
it.
Oh, yes, we are very grateful.
And just about that time, you see just a couple of the students are just kind of looking from outside, where the kitchen area is, just looking and whispering and like pointing at Valken and you know, talking about him and whispering. And she sort of looks over her shoulder, and they kind of, when she sees her look, they just kind of scurry and go back. And a short time later, they all bring just a large sort of just like pot full of this just vegetable based soup, and then they have individual bowls that they just kind of serve for everyone. And then you all are seated at this sort of table that's meant for like sitting down and eating there. So I believe last time I said you're all sit down crisscross applesauce. those are the rules here. So
Yeah.
And you all begin to eat. There's some plum wine that is served for those that are of age.
Everything
Nice meal.
tastes pretty good.
You know, it's important, especially in the autumn and winter months, to have some sort of warm food. I think it's important for both the body and the soul, of course.
Yes, I come from a very cold place. Warm food is keeps you going, right, Valken? You barely survived, but we kept you alive. With warm food, lots of warm food and honey.
Cold is a bit of an understatement, but
Well, I mean, but you're okay. Look at you.
yeah, I didn't lose any fingers, thankfully, or toes. But it's much better down here. That's without a
We
doubt.
also say alcohol will help with cold, but it's children's. I don't know. It's no, it's little. She says this right in front of any kids that are like listening.
Well, a bit of news, I guess, that may be of importance to you, Valken. Very interesting that there are only 4 schools that have entered the tournament. Normally 5, as you remember, that 3 from Ventus and 2 from Ramcrown, but one of the Ventus schools has been dissolved and merged into the other. So it will be us, Temple of the Crystal Rose, of course, who is hosting the tournament. The Divine Heart School from Ventus, and then Halls of Iron will be the 4th representing Ramcrown. So, not sure the story of why the school was dissolved, but more of a chance for us to win, I suppose.
Yeah. When is all this exactly? Again.
Yes. The tournament will be duodecim the 1st. So with today being the 25th of decimum, that is just shy of a month and a few days.
Okay.
So essentially, it's 25th. Y'all have got 3 more days of this month, the next month, and then the first day of that new month is going to be the tournament.
Can you help us
So-
with the timeline again? We need to go to. We need to go to
You are needed in Falshir. The trial is
Falshir
on
within, like,
Undecim the
a
1st.
day. Okay, and then after that, we don't have anything scheduled, so we just need to be at Emberholm by the date of the tournament, and then we need to book it back to see if we're hired for that other gig.
So yeah, after the tournament, it's kind of up to you
Busy.
all where you'd want to go. But
Mhm.
basically, you're in the end, you're having to get from Falshir, which is here on the map, a little down further there. So here, and then you're having to get all the way to Emberholm, and there ain't no way through the mountains except for this pass up here. So it's gonna be a long trek.
Shit.
So each of those hexes is about a day, or a little more if you were on horseback, or a little less, I should say. So after the trial and how this goes, well, that being said, I think it's going to be, let me count the days here to kind of give you all like an average timeline. So like 14 days to Emberholm on foot, a little less by horseback if you follow the roads. So it's gonna be a bit of a trek.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming no problems, of course, but
Even with the horses, it's gonna take.
The horses will reduce that.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, if you're on foot, horses will reduce it by. Let's math everyone on stream.
Ew.
With horses, it'd be about 10 days or so.
And how many without?
14.
Those mountains are rough. I don't want to go through them again.
And there's really not a way over them unless you're doing some
Yeah.
serious climbing.
So the path through though is still sort of through the mountains though, right?
There, you didn't make it to this point. You made it to the
Okay.
edge of the mountains where you found that little stronghold. You were up in the mountains. To travel through them, there's a pass that is sort of.
So that stronghold was really on the Falshir side. That's crazy.
It was like the edge in between, but yeah, essentially. Had a really good vantage point of where each of the armies were, so that's why it may have been so important for them. Well, is there anything else that you would want to know about the tournament, or anything else on your minds? Anything that we can do for you while you're here? You're more than welcome to stay, of course. Kind of rest for the next day's travel. I'm sure that it's been, well, travel's never easy, honestly.
Well, if any way Ron can assist with training, Ron can provide.
With training, do you have, what school did you attend?
School of Life.
Ooh, same.
I see. Well, life lessons are important, and different perspectives are always important to have, and to sort of teach these young ones here, whether they will listen or not. That is probably a no, but at least they'll have heard it once.
I should just take the night off to relax, I think. Don't worry about the training. Kids as well.
Do we have
Right,
time
kids?
to take the
So it's the 25th now. The trial is on the 1st, so 26, 27, 28, and then 1st, so there's 4 days. And it will take about...
Pretty close to it's like not too far away from
Yeah,
Falshir, right?
I just know we need to get there a little early because we want to try to sneakily talk to what's his face, right?
I mean,
In case he
Falshir
gets
will
executed.
take you a day and a half on horseback.
Oh, so we can leave tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, what Valkan said, but
Well, and she sort of looks at you, like, as you said, even the kids' night off, and she just kind of like, it's lunchtime, and she sort of just like looks at you and kind of smiles. She goes, well, you heard it from Valken. He has allowed you all to have an afternoon off, so...
Allowed? I
Well,
look
it's
over
very-
at Balkan.
Yeah, you're all allowed. I said,
You aren't allowing me to do anything. I do whatever I want to do.
Oh, I
Are you a
apologize.
child?
I was speaking to the students, Finn. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You, of course, are free to do whatever you'd like. The students have been given a rare respite from their studies and from their learning their forms and techniques to do with what you will. But make sure that you are at least doing something productive and not destructive, please. And the kids are like cheering, like, yeah, Valken. And then another little one has just sort of wandered up to you. Can't be more than like 6 years old, and is just like looking at your tattoo and just like poking your arm.
Aw.
hello?
Hello.
Yeah, that's you like my tattoo?
Yeah. He just like keeps poking it and just like.
Wow. You know what? Keep listening to Emma, and you might have one that's even cooler than this. Who
Whoa.
knows?
Are you a snake?
Yes.
Can you turn into a snake?
Not right now.
Do you eat other snakes?
Yeah. We try not to eat our own kind, I think.
What do you eat?
some delicious vegetable stew, like the kind you just had.
Whoa, how old are you?
That's a secret.
Oh, so you're old.
Older than you, yeah.
Wow. Like 14?
Yeah. 14, yeah.
Whoa.
Somewhere around there.
And he's just gonna ask you questions as long as you humor him. He's gonna ask you questions over and over, and just about literally anything that this kid can think of.
Kids, man.
Just,
why?
well, say, I'll put my hand on his head and be like, look, you know, they're having a lot of fun outside. Don't you want to join them?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Are you a teacher
fine.
here?
Nope. Not a
Oh.
teacher.
Are you gonna be a teacher?
I haven't the slightest idea. I don't know. Maybe. If you're good, maybe.
Will you be my new dad?
Okay. That's Emma. Somebody.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that he was bothering you. Come along. Outside. And then let the guests eat in peace, please. And he just looks and goes, okay. And he just walks outside. I'm sorry. Well,
No, it's fine. It's fine. Question just threw me off a little bit.
they're very inquisitive at their young age, so I try to encourage them to seek knowledge, but I do understand that it can be a little much.
No. It doesn't bother me. I used to be like that.
You used to be
So
something.
all by
that's for
yourself,
sure.
huh? All these kids by yourself, no help.
Nobody else will. So
What's his
mean,
name? Didn't come back at all, really.
No, he did not. I mean, he's done these sort of things before, but I mean, he's been gone quite a while. I mean, he can obviously take care of himself, but why he would just do that? I mean, I really can't trust most anyone to come in here and teach. They weren't taught by Sensei again, so they would just be a student all the same and have to relearn what they were taught. So we'll just have to do our best until some of the students come of age, and if any of them decide to stay and help, then that will be very helpful indeed.
We can hope. Do you ever have any time to yourself? At all?
It's a luxury that I cannot often afford, since I'm responsible for all of them and their well-being. As you know, no one else is going to look out for them, so someone has to. They do help, of course, around the academy, so with having so many of them, they help in some of the menial tasks that they can, of course, accomplish themselves, but they do require instruction outside of just the teachings.
No, I was serious about what I said. I'm not exactly hurting for money at the moment. And in lieu of me actually staying here and teaching, it's the least I could do to help out.
I mean, money is not what we need. We're, with the academy rebuilt and with us being able to grow our own food and that sort, it's more just I can't be everywhere at once. Even with money to hire someone, I would have to teach them the ways that we hold dear here, so it would just be paying someone to teach them before they could be of use.
Outside of hired help, is there any other things that you could use?
Think of. I mean, we live modesty by design, as well as you remember. That way we wouldn't be dependent on others to support us financially, which keeps us free to do things as we like. It's where other schools have gone wrong, is with money comes the expectations of influence. So the more that you take in, the more that they expect that they have a say in how things are run.
That's true. But it's me you're talking to and not some random businessman.
I know, and you're doing so much just by representing us in this tournament. Let's see how that goes, and then we can maybe discuss afterwards. It's sort of what I'm mainly focused on now. But the gesture is appreciated.
Well, at least for now, you seem to have the afternoon to yourself. I suggest soak or sleep or something. We can kind of keep an eye on the kids for a while.
It's very much appreciated. It does sound nice. Having an afternoon
Right.
to myself.
There's a bunch of snot-nosed kids out there. It wouldn't be too hard to watch over them, right? I'm like looking to you guys.
Oh, yes. Very easy.
I'm like looking down at the ground, avoiding eye contact.
Well,
Sure, I can whip them into shape real fast if you want me to.
We keep them from killing themselves, I think is...
Oh, there's fun in that. That's how they learn.
That's the bare minimum, of course, so that I can.
Oh.
That's as much as I expect. So if you do need anything, just please let me know. I don't expect you all to watch them all day, so
Oh, thank God.
I will. I don't know what I'll do, to be honest. Maybe just go for a swim.
Whatever you need to relax. It's fine. Okay, Valken, like, gets up, walks out the door. Who wants to show me what Miss Emma's been teaching you?
And a kid raises their hand. Can we play with the swords?
No.
They raise their hand again.
Yeah?
Can we play with the staffs?
Yes, but you have to show me you know how to use it.
Okay. And then he just runs inside and just like grabs just like a shit ton of just like quarterstaves and runs out and just kind of puts them like on the front. And this is sort of one of the younger kids and like grabs it and just think like it's the only thing that comes to mind. Think like Star Wars kid with the broom and just like going all crazy and like is barely standing up and just like has no form or technique whatsoever. They just did that because they wanted to play with it.
Okay. As soon as somebody draws blood, then staff playtime is over, so don't hit each other too much, please.
I'm like, okay. A couple of them pick up staffs, and one of them comes behind you and just hits you in like the calf. Ah!
Good
Maybe
strike.
it's best you
I
show
think
them how.
could use a little
Valken-
bit more work, but not bad.
Then just laughs and runs away.
Is this how you learn Valken?
No,
Maybe
No. there's a bit
They
more
need,
structure than this, but
they need guidance.
oh well. I'm not really their teacher.
There's there's sort of a young girl, probably like maybe like 15 or 16, half elven, like super dark hair, inherited sort of the pointy ears from the elven heritage, and sort of has like a light brown sort of almost like amber eye color, and she sort of just raises her hand as the other kids are like causing like mayhem. There's like, she's probably the oldest one here.
Falcon's just kind of like casually watching them, and if it looks like they're getting too rough, he's just like, hey, stop. You know? Do I notice her do that, or?
She's just like quietly like raising her hand.
I could take care of this, Valkian.
What?
Can I take a crack at teaching the young ones?
Don't kill them.
Oh, no.
Teach them.
All right. Yes. This is how you learn. Listen, little childrens.
They're not
Today
paying
we
attention. They're all
listen,
over like
little
they are.
childrens, and then I'm gonna use my lightning to like.
Yeah. So as
Does
you
that
like,
get their attention?
as you bring lightning down onto like to them, they just go "Ah!" and they start screaming and like running around and like taking cover and like hiding behind trees. A couple of them like
Coming
jumping
down
in the
on
lake.
me. Like I was like just.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but it's still scary for
Okay.
like a 8-year-old.
These children have no discipline. They cry every time there is storm. I don't understand. They would survive 2 seconds up in the north.
Bryn, they've never seen magic. Probably like this before.
So yeah.
Oh, new plan. Valkian, let's give them sort of training lesson by demonstration. Let's fight.
So the young girl is just still like
Give me a minute.
raising her hand, and she just goes,
Did you need something?
Sensei Valken?
Just Valken.
Mr. Valken, I can
Okay,
show
Hermione.
you what I've learned. Well, you asked to show you what we've learned so far.
Oh, you actually want to do it? Okay. Fine. What do you want to do?
Okay. Is it anything that you would like to see or test me on?
She has to do this every day. Dude, yeah, that staff on the ground. Show me what Emma's been teaching you with that staff.
She just goes, all right. And she like kneels down and just picks it up. And then just sort of slowly does like some almost like ritualistic like movements. Think like sort of like Tai Chi, like slow, deliberate sort of movements with the staff and different like how attacks would be, sort of that thing. It's very similar to how you fought. I mean, it's exact just because of Emma is teaching what you all had learned here, so.
Seems you have the basics down pretty well.
Sensei Emma said that I could compete, but we're not sure if I'm going to do the movements in form or if I'm to be hand to hand, so I've just been practicing everything. My name is Lynn, by the way.
Lynn. Well. Do you actually want to compete?
It would be a pleasure to bring honor to the school once again.
Good. Just, want to make sure it's something that you actually want to do.
Well, we all-
Tournaments, from what I remember, pretty serious. So,
it's a way for us to prove that we still belong amongst the other schools. A way for us to prove that we're just as good as everyone else.
I would say that the school is getting along just fine without a tournament, but it doesn't hurt to put some people in their places once in a while.
Sensei Emma also says that tournaments are there to exchange knowledge and technique, so welcome anything else I can learn.
It's a good attitude to have. don't know if I'm. Look, I'm not a teacher, okay, but I do know a thing or two, and if you keep listening to Emma, keep practicing what you're practicing, you'll be all right.
Thank you, Mr. Falcon. She just kind of bows to you and then like runs off and starts doing like her own movements, and like she's basically using her time off to practice instead of like do anything like that's not practice. So I think you were right, Bun, when you said like, okay, Hermione. All right,
Nerd.
so you all can watch the students for however long you'd like without much incident. I mean, kids are gonna be kids, but shortly after Emma will come back after taking a swim in the lake, kind of just relaxing for a bit, maybe a couple hours. So you all are free to do whatever you'd like.
So we have to watch them for a couple hours.
2 maybe.
Ron goes dad mode if kids get out of hand. I'm like, hey.
Ben
Just like-
is reading a book. Even though she's not into reading, she wants something to do with the kids.
What book is she reading? What book does she have?
She is reading a book about thieves' tools.
Very well. Okay. Catching up on her studies.
She's trying to be smart. And while her intelligence is 0, she's trying.
It's 10 intelligence is average, okay? You're not like, you're an average intelligence. Nothing wrong with that.
Alright.
I think one of the final things before Emma comes back, Falcon purposely riles the kids up to race to see who's the fastest in order for them to just run and tire themselves out. Like, he just watches them for like a half hour just running. Like, is that the fastest you can go? You gonna let him beat you? Like,
You're the coach that's basically having them do like line drills. Like on
That's
the
what
court.
Brandon was gonna do. I was gonna make him do push-ups one-handed. Or
I
chop
think
some
there might have been a
firewood.
few bribes, like winner gets donut or whatever I have.
You have plenty of donuts.
Yeah.
I think you bought 24 of them, and you've
They're
given
like-
away 2 or 3.
Something
They're
like
so
that, yeah.
good, yeah.
Probably end up like, cause how many kids are there?
12.
Yeah, by the time they're done, I probably just divvy it out to whatever I have left, the rest of them.
All right. Each kid gets their own donut.
But if it's just half or whatever, however I have to split it up.
Yeah, and of course, when Emma comes back, she sees you handing out donuts to all the students. She's just like, she just doesn't say anything. Just
Get him pumped up
watches
on
you do it.
sugar.
all right. So now that Emma is watching them all, and they're sort of winding down, doing their like nightly chores and getting ready for to sleep, you all can. Is there anything you want to discuss? You certainly can. If you want to move on to Falshir, you can do that.
It's up to you guys. I don't know. You have anything you want to talk about?
You should have a nice meal with Emma, Falcon. Together, alone. We could, handle things.
Huh?
And I poorly whistle. Woo woo.
Are we like? I assume Emma's with us right now.
Doesn't have to be. This can happen. This is gonna occur whenever.
Oh, okay. What? I don't understand. What?
Huh?
What's this
You
fascination
know.
with me and trying to set me up with dates with every person I come across?
Oh, but Emma's a very good person, very responsible, knows how to take care of many, many children.
Oh, she's very good.
yeah.
Plus, it's like we can't really try to hook up Ron on dates. He's still, he's still
Ron
working
does not
through some.
date.
He's still working through some things. Can't very well set Vin up on dates. I mean, you've
What's
met
that
Vin.
supposed to mean?
And I'm not going to be
I
set
don't know
up on
what that
any dates.
means,
People
Vin,
don't
huh?
like me. So, it pretty much just leaves you.
And what are you gonna do? if I decide to have a dinner or whatever you guys want me to do.
Ron will
we're going to go.
Ron will play flute for children and then tell them bedtime story.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell them scary stories.
And then they sleep.
And Vin's going to just read her book in the corner like she's been doing all day, probably.
Yeah, unless
It is
we're
good.
torturing. I mean,
I'm just very proud of you to see you reading for once, so I am not going to discourage.
I'm not into the kid thing, but I like the idea of the bedtime stories that are actually nightmare stories and torturing.
Yeah, that's how you
kids.
teach lessons. This is how
sounds
you
fun.
learn. When you are a child, you have someone scare the poops out of you, and then you never do the bad things. I have so many good stories.
I can make up some stories.
There has to be a moral lesson in story, Vin. That is how it works.
Oh, I thought we were just trying to scare them.
No. You scare them into doing the right thing.
That's some fun. And I like open book.
No, it is not fun, but it is duty.
Nah. Duty.
So what am I supposed to say? Like, hey, my companions decided that they're gonna do their own shit. I guess, what? Dinner for two?
You say, hey, my companions volunteered to take care of children so that you and I might have a little alone time, wink wink.
I'm not gonna say that.
Well, not like that, you're not.
But you don't say wink, you do wink.
Yeah, you do
Yeah.
the wink. Yeah.
Don't be like Ron.
He's learned so much.
Yes.
As I like pretend to wipe a tear.
If I do this, will you leave me alone about it for a while?
Yes.
So long as while.
I can't promise anything.
Fine. But it's just gonna be dinner.
Yay,
It's
we
not gonna
gotta
be anything
find-
else other than dinner.
That's fine. We just
Between
want for
two
you to
old
be happy.
classmates. Okay.
Just go wherever the mood takes you.
And then I start whistling and like going bow chicka wow, bow chicka wow wow.
I was hoping you'd do like, can you feel?
I don't know how to whistle that one.
I
I'm
think if
sorry.
you started doing that, Valken would probably just start traveling to Falshire on his own.
All right, so a few of you are watching the kids, and so as sort of dinner is being like prepared, you're having sort of a curry with some vegetable noodles and some things. So pretty much all their dishes here are vegetarian.
Spicy?
Spicy.
Good.
Similar thing, just a large pot, and they just kind of serve everyone, and it's up to you all how you want to arrange this little dinner, but for everyone else it seems business as usual. They're all gonna sit at the table, and
They prep like dinner for. Did they prep like spots for everybody? But I just walk in and it's just me.
it's up to how the group wanted to set it all up, because
Oh,
they're
I
gonna
was
have
thinking we just made them a little on like the balcony nearby. We just took their plates and just like sat them over there.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So
Starlit dinner.
Yeah, like they can
moonlight.
see like the countryside and
Candles.
it's beautiful. There's some flute playing wafting in from the other room. Very romantic.
So she comes out and then she sees you all carrying, and she just kind of looks and goes, are we eating elsewhere?
Oh, we're just giving you more of a break from little ones. You go and enjoy nice catch up with your friend Valken as you do, and we're going to tell them some stories and play flutes. Little treat for children's.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
stories as I like menacingly
You're
put my
like-
fingers together.
Yeah, so she kind of sits at the table, and this is a long ass table, like that was like 16 people are eating at, and she just kind of sits down and just kind of, gets her, curry.
Or did you guys? Like I think I'm. Did you guys move our plates outside, or are we by ourselves at the dinner table?
from what I understand, they moved everyone outside and you and her
They moved
inside.
everyone outside.
Yeah.
No, they are outside.
Okay, reverse that then.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you and Emma are outside and they're inside.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear.
There you go. I was confused too.
I have no idea what this is, to be honest.
It seems like a nice evening to me.
Out there. It's, hey, stars and stuff, I guess. Listen. I have no idea what it takes to run a place like this by myself, by oneself. So I hope today was at least enjoyable with the time you had.
It's a brief respite is always welcome, and of course seeing old friends is well worth it, so thank you.
Yeah, I we were heading to Falshire. We got your letter. So I figured least I could do was come see how things were going.
It's always happy to see you, Malkin. So things are going about as well as they can, honestly. So
But the meal is tasty once again. So
thank you. I actually had this one myself, so I appreciate it. I spent
makes
some of the
sense.
time relaxing, preparing this, but you know me.
just the right amount of spicy. It's good. It's good. Oh. Yeah. Listen, I'm not good at carrying on conversations like this. It's, you know me. I'm an absolute
Definitely.
moron, so
No, you're not.
apologies if this is weird.
You don't have to apologize. We can just have our dinner and enjoy each other's company. Nothing to be sorry about.
Okay. Hey, if you have questions for me, feel free to ask them. You've been traveling pretty much all across the continent, and then some. I'd be happy to speak about some things, I suppose.
More than happy to listen if you were to regale me with your traveling stories.
Okay. Well, let's start with how you should never go north. And then I'm just gonna kind of, in the most Valkan way possible, talk about some of our journeys, what we saw.
You regale her with stories about all the monsters that you've jumped on and killed.
Yeah. The times I've almost died.
Yeah. So, as you all are entertaining the children inside, Vin, what scary story are you reaching towards to scare the hell out of these little kids?
This is gonna be good. You said Vin, right?
Vin, yes.
I'm thinking in my head about tales of dragons who like to eat children. And then I say specifically martial arts elven children.
A third, 2 or 3 students are just wide-eyed, oh.
And then I look over at Brandon and I nudge her in the side, like, we should tell the story together.
Oh yeah, I can help. Bryn, all of her stories have to do with children getting eaten by bears.
Turn those
Usually,
bears into dragons.
you cut the bears' tummies open at the end and the kids pop out and they're okay. But that's like, most stories involve bears.
Now those bears are dragons, as I wink at Bryn.
Oh. Yes, then the dragon ate all of the children, but it is okay because the brave huntsman was still able to cut them out of the dragon's belly. But this is why you should never take a gold coin that does not belong to you.
Bryn.
No,
That's not
what?
how you tell a story. You gotta really, like, smooge it up. So,
Oh.
you see, there once was 3 children walking in the forest. And I look over at Bryn.
Oh, and it was getting very dark. It was past when they should have headed home, but they continued walking.
Yeah, against what their parents said. They should have
Exactly.
been in bed, sleeping.
Or doing chores.
Definitely chores.
Hmm.
When all of a sudden, you hear sticks breaking behind the children's feet.
And out comes a big, scary dragon.
Dragon!
The kids are like, "Ooh," and they put their hands over their mouths.
But it
And-
says to them, "Do not worry, kids. I am
put
not
my hand
scary."
I put my hand over Bryn's mouth and I
Mom.
say, the dragon's gonna eat you if you don't run back home. And
Well,
as
we had
it
to
breathes
snooze them up. I thought we
fire
were building
all
up to it.
over
Oh, shit.
the forest.
Then what happened?
The huntsman was nowhere to be found.
Oh, shit.
There was no huntsman.
Did it eat him?
Maybe.
Oh,
And then he had a hunger for children.
Small one that was poking Valken's tattoo starts to cry.
Yeah, cry.
Bin, this is not a good story. What are you doing?
What? I'm telling a story about how the
Oh,
dragon eats the
Even
children.
Bryn is invested
I'll
now.
fix it. Yeah, I'm very invested, but I can fix it. And then the good fairy came down and she said, "No, dragon, I will not let you eat these children, for they may have made a mistake, but they are good children at heart."
Are they? I mean, they
then
should have been doing chores.
And then she bopped dragon on the snoot, and she said, "Children, do not let me catch you in the haunted forest again, or else I will not stop dragon next time." And then the kids were very good. They went home, they respected their elders, they did all of their chores for like 10 years, and then they got a respectable job.
And all the kids, like, they were all in it and they look confused and then they start clapping. Yay!
I like dig my nose in my book and I'm just like, this is not the story I had planned.
Can't end a story with murder. There has to be a lesson to be
Yes.
One
learned.
of the kids is like, "Can I get a job now?"
Oh yes, what kind of
No.
job would you like?
Little nerds don't get jobs.
Respectable.
You can get a respectable job. What are you good at? Tell me your skills.
Um,
Oh, not fast enough. You better get back to studying.
okay.
Next.
And you regale them with terrifying stories and then teach them that in 10 years they'll get respectable jobs.
If they focus and behave and do lots of chores.
Yeah. And Valken and Emma enjoy the rest of their evening alone, outside under the stars, eating their food. And as the night drags
Oh,
on, it's time for...
I have one more story I want to tell.
Go for
It
it.
is not a scary one. It is a good one, I promise. I'll tell it, especially to like the really nerdy little girl that's been like paying attention.
Mhm.
Once upon a time, there was Princess. She was most beautiful princess in all land. She had silver hair and pale ivory skin and a blue piece of hair that is one little strand. She was very beautiful. But Princess had dark curse. Strange magics would erupt from her all the times without her wanting it to. Sometimes things be set on fire. Sometimes things disappear. She had no control. But then she went on a journey to figure out where her powers came from. And along the way, she met a friend. He was the biggest giant in all the lands. So tall his head went through clouds. and they became friends. And then she made another friend. He was small but fast. He was faster than you blink eye, and you could not see him anymore. That is how fast he was. And he said, I will also help Princess to find her powers, why they are happening. And then she met another friend. This was very strong, strongest woman known to everyone. She was so strong she could lift 50 bears. And then her and these friends, they found the source of her powers. And they saved the day through friendship. So the lesson of this story, children, is what?
Lift a lot of bears. Have
Lift
friends.
a lot of bears and
Find a
have
giant.
friends. Have friends. You can do more together than you can do alone. It is moral of story.
And everyone claps. Yay!
They're like stories that involve princesses. I learned this.
Cool.
All
Ron was like
storybooks.
sitting with the kids listening. He's like, oh, very good.
Yes.
All right. And then they all get ready and do their chores, ready for nighttime. And then if there's nothing else you all would like to do, you all can go to the next day and head towards Falshir.
Yay. Done with the fun. Now time for sad trial times.
All right. So you all go to the next day, the 26th, and then you are able to get to Falshir on the early afternoon of the 27th, which means the trial is in about 2 days or so, if my my maths are mathing correctly. So
I'll say, like, as we're leaving, despite what Emma said, I'm gonna like set aside I'm gonna set aside about 50 gold or so where she can find it.
mhm.
Aw.
I'm not gonna say anything to her. Just gonna leave it.
And you all would say your goodbyes, and she would give each of you a warm embrace as you all leave. So as you spend the next day and a half or so traveling on the road towards Falshir, it's a pretty straight shot, so not too difficult by any means, and you approach the capital city of Ventus, is which you had seen before, and you see, of course, the same as the last, is that all of the entrances are still closed, save for one, by the bastion, I believe. And as you approach, similarly, there's another line for people to get in. And
Shit.
that is where we will take our break for the evening. So don't go anywhere. Go ahead and stretch your appendages, get some snacks, because I know I'm getting some snacks. I need some. And we will be back here in just a little bit. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you here in a few.